time to do our morning show.
On your how this will go.
Come and watch two guys grow old. These are the days.
If we get a YouTube feed,
We'll just stream on D-Live then. Mr. We could use a man like Donald Trump again. I live in a redneck state.
everybody here's irate.
Man, this intro sure sounds great.
These are the days.
Hey, happy Friday to everybody here. Boomer Bunker Morning Show. John J. Jamingo and me, Double B Live with the Boomer News and Boomer Views. Sub, like, and share. Now, the next 59 minutes will be entirely John, since I won't get a word in edgewise until the dad joke at the end of our show.
That's not true. I know. You know, it's hard when we prep for the show in the morning. We always say, let's not do the show before the show. So, and of course I'm torqued with all the shit that went down yesterday. But, you know, people get mad. All right, you always talk about it, Biden. What are we supposed to talk about? What the hell is going? I mean, how are we just supposed to let everything like this go on?
Well, there's plenty of things to talk about.
I understand that, but is it really okay? All right, I'm with you.
Right here. How did we miss this story?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
RuPaul wants to be the next Jeopardy host. I'm right here, bitch. How'd you like to have that asking you questions? Would you be able to focus?
I don't understand why it's not again, I don't understand why that's a problem. If he, what do you call?
I don't know. I don't know that she's full on transitioned.
I don't know. I think he is
you can just say RuPaul.
I think RuPaul is a transvestite. He guest hosted on Jimmy Kimmel. I have the video here if you want to watch it.
Yeah, sure.
Is that a yes or a no? Let's see.
Sure.
Oh, look at me.
I was actually reading the article.
Oh, do you want to read the article or you want to see the video?
No, that's it. No, I was actually paying attention to the article. Go ahead.
Oh, you were. Welcome. I mean, I didn't want to interrupt your reading as we were doing the show, but
now you care.
Okay.
Welcome to Kimmel Live. I'm your guest host, RuPaul, and yes, straight up, we are going to have a great time tonight. But first, I want to apologize for my brother, Rand Paul. He's adopted.
That's funny.
How it is, But I am so happy to be with all of y'all, and Guillermo too. Hi, honey. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good. Now, do you miss not having Jimmy here? Are you missing Jimmy?
Yeah,
Nobody misses Jimmy.
I love him.
He is a nice guy. So
He has to say that.
This difference
Of course he
between
does.
me hosting and Jimmy hosting.
Honest, you're more sexy than he is.
That's weird.
I'll take that. I'll take it.
he looks like an
Now,
ant.
is anybody from out of town here? We all there's some. Yeah. Okay. Great.
I mean, if you put a little facial hair, I'm seeing Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Child, up on these planes. There's so many reports of unruly passengers taking.
All
off
right,
their
so I guess
masks
this
and
is going to be. I don't know where he gets in there. Where he asks, I apologize.
No, that's okay. But that's who
Flipped it.
I think RuPaul would be a good. I'd watch Jeopardy if that was it. If that was the host, it wouldn't bother me one bit. I don't necessarily watch Jeopardy. I don't sit here and make a date to do it. But if it's on, like when I get home from work, I make me something to eat, turn on the TV, and it's on, I'll watch it.
Oh my God, the diversity, the equity that to have RuPaul be the host of Jeopardy. All I know is Alex Trebek would probably be spinning in his grave like a chicken on a rotisserie spit.
I don't know. I think Alex was pretty open.
Well, I guess so, but again, I wouldn't care if they made RuPaul the host of Jeopardy. Why not? Who cares?
Well, how about Dog the Bounty Hunter?
As the host of Jeopardy?
Well,
No.
that would be kind of weird because I don't think anybody wants to look at him. He has spent too much time in the sun
Yeah, he is a burnt.
Like
He
a
is.
crocodile.
Yeah, he is like a younger George Hamilton. I mean, he is
Who is
really.
I'm not
Hamilton?
even boomer enough to know who that is.
You know who George Hamilton is?
Well, like the old president. What was he like?
No. He's an actor. He's. I'm trying to think. You're right. I can't remember what he's been in, but apparently he's famous for being tan. He loves to tan, and I don't know.
Well, on Thursday, September 2nd, I don't know how we missed this. The 68-year-old reality star Dwayne Chapman and Francie Frayne got married.
Oh,
his wife passed away. I want to say like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, he was a widower.
I don't doubt he loved the hell out of her. They were,
I'm sure.
They seemed like they were very good together.
Let's see what his new wife looks like. Scroll on up there, buddy. Oh yeah, that's definitely. Look at him. Oh, she's a
They look like a happy couple.
It looks like his daughter. How old is she?
Well, he's 68. Doesn't necessarily
tell you how old she is.
I don't know if I could. I'm not gonna wiki her because I don't care enough. So to be honest with you, you guys care. You can do that yourself.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but she's a lot younger.
So the duo began dating in early 2020, and Dog began to feel like himself again.
Yeah, you know what? You know what cures missing old Poo-Tang, new Poo-Tang. Yeah. Especially younger. That
used to be the rule when I was younger. New is better than old, and old is better than none.
Yeah, did you ever see like people are crying over their old dog? Oh my God, we've had that dog ever since his dog's 14 years old, and oh, it's horrible. I'm crying. I can't get over it. And all of a sudden, you bring a new puppy in. They're like,
Well, hopefully he's retired and he's not.
Ooh.
Who?
He's retired?
I would hope so. He's freaking 68 years old. Does he need to be running after bad guys?
Well, I'm sure he's running the business. He's got young guys running after, bad guys now.
See, when I first saw this, I thought shotgun wedding.
He married
he married a shotgun.
I don't get that. What do you mean by I don't get the joke.
He's a bounty
hunter. Okay. Jesus. Ooh.
What? Ooh. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't do it in Jersey language.
I'm just saying. That's a stretch for a joke. He married a shotgun wedding because he's a bounty hunter. Why did he marry her? I don't know. Whatever.
So, how would you like to get a big bonus, John?
A bonus would be nice. I would like a bonus.
About $750 million bonus for Apple's Tim Cook, or if you're Donald Trump, Tim Apple.
Wow.
Do you remember that when fucking
Tim Apple?
Trump called him Tim Apple.
The guy is Tim Apple, to be honest with you.
I love it.
Yeah, $750 million.
So Apple chief executive Tim Cook has received a bonus of some $750 million, reflecting his performance at the U.S. technology giant in his 10 years at the helm.
Why go to work anymore? Why go to
not just make iPhones free?
No, I mean, I understand that, and not everything has to be free, and you do have to make a profit on things. I understand that, but they're just making money hand over fist. It cracks me up. All their shit's made in China. It all comes over here, China, and they are goose stepping with China's social credit score and all that. If China took over the United States, the first thing they'd go after is Apple. They would go over after, and all that money, all that bonuses and all that shit, that would be gone. He'd be working for, I don't know, $20 an hour, maybe. That's generous. And he'd be doing all the same shit for that. Yeah.
He'd probably move to a country that's not controlled by
$750 million.
For a bonus.
Listen, his kids, all them people could not spend that money. Holy
I had looked up a while back to spend if I gave you $1 million today and told you to spend $1,000 a day, you would come back to me in 3 years with no money.
Right.
If I gave you $1 billion today and told you to spend $1,000 a day and told you to come back when you're broke, it would take something like 25,000 years. I forget the exact number, but it's up there. It's like 26,000 years.
Right. But
So that puts million versus billion into perspective.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, you put that kind of money just in a very safe investment where you would get a very minimal return, and that's all you would. I mean, that's all you would need. You could live out a life anywhere you wanted to live, anywhere you wanted to live.
My wife works for a company. She says, I need a bonus. And she works for a company that when the bubble busted back in 08, 09, you know, about that area, they
stock market crash.
They stopped doing bonuses.
Oh, they did?
And they've never went back to
why would you?
Regular bonuses. Like some hospitals like ours here, they give out quarterly bonuses because they're a non-profit. So they're a not-for-profit hospital, so they got to spend that money somehow. So
give it back to the peoples.
Yeah, I mean, they've already bought up that entire block of premium, you know, real estate and built giant, you know, buildings on it. So give it back to the people.
I know. It just
and this is the husband of another person who also works there.
Right. So
Jason.
The big thing that I get out of this is, you know, that everybody wants to control, you know, capitalism. Boy, my mouth's not working right today. Or, you know, how much people should make. Like Bezos shouldn't have that much money. Musk shouldn't have that much money. Mr. Apple shouldn't have that much money. And I mean, they put in the hours, they made the product, people bought it, the money's there. I mean, why should actors make that kind of money? Because their faces, their, you know, being an actor, their draw brings in this money. So they should get paid on, you know, what they draw, what they bring in. I just think I love it when people tell you, oh, you should make that much money. That's too much money. I'm just amazed at the bonus. I'm not saying you don't deserve it. I'm not saying you shouldn't get it. I'm just saying that's a shit ton of fucking money. That's all I'm saying.
How about if you had that kind of money, you could afford one of these? I've got the audio on low because it's just dumbass music.
Go ahead.
It's the new Charmin Forever Roll. Now, this is the starter kit.
Wait a minute.
Check this thing out.
Look at the size of it. Where does that go? I mean, I understand it's in the 1 month. That's 1 month of wiping your ass.
That would probably last me a year. I'm very like miserly when it comes to using toilet paper because I'm on a damn septic tank.
Stop it. That is ridiculous.
Comes like that. Now you can also get, I have right here, you know, Boomer Bob is prepared on this Friday.
Look at you.
I know. I'm just jamming today.
You know, if you had a cat, that cat would spin that for you.
Oh, right. I never even thought of that. We don't have a cat, but so this is on their website. I'm sure you can get this elsewhere. I think that person was at Kroger when they bought it. The Forever Roll starter kit. Now this includes the floor stand.
Right.
$35 on their website. I don't know what it costs.
3 rolls, 3 big giant rolls. Like that seems like a deal.
Yeah, I don't know if it comes with the 3 rolls. Yeah, maybe it does.
It says starter kit.
Yeah.
Starter kit, starter stand included. Forever Roll starter kit with screw and wall mount. Hold on, back up.
Well, that's I was trying to see if it comes with the 3 rolls.
Oh, okay.
Yep, contains 3 rolls and a holder stand. So I mean, $25 you can get that. That would last me probably till I'm dead.
Nah, well, it says, you know, it's each one of those rolls is supposed to last a month. All right, do me a favor. Let me see I got to see the screw and wall. How much is
there's a screw in, and then there's a glue on that looks the same. It's just like a regular pole. See,
you screw that on
that if you're into that.
Wow. I mean, I just think that's a lot of weight. I wonder how much one of those rolls weigh. A lot of toilet paper.
It is a lot.
Spin around, you know. And then if you ever go into like a bathroom where they have those big giant rolls inside that plastic thing, and you got to try to Of course, because it never works, you got to stick your hand up in there and get it, spin it down, and then you got to try to pull it. And then the weight of it always snaps it off, and you're like, mother.
Right.
And then you got to stick your hand in there and do it again. Yeah, I don't like those at all. But maybe if this thing would spin around and you could, I don't know. I just think it's too big. I got to tell you, Bob, I don't take toilet paper and put it on a roll thing like that. Mine sits on the sink. I pick it up. I give it a couple spins around my hand. I do my business. That's how I do mine.
Well, I've got kind of a
thing.
Sorry, I've got kind of a smaller bathroom, so I do have this type of a toilet paper holder right here, like you see right here.
Yeah, it depends on how high you mount it. It could be used for something else.
But I reach back, take the roll off, take off what I need, put it back on. Like I don't leave it on the roller thing and then tear it off. I can't because of where it's at, where I have to have it mounted in my tiny freaking bathroom that I have.
Yeah, you missed my joke. That's okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, buddy. Redo it.
I said if you mounted that the right height, you could also use that toilet paper holder for something else.
Well, that's what I said earlier. Then you missed my joke. I said it comes with this thing that looks like something you could back up on if you're into that.
Oh, that's right. I did miss that.
All right.
I was amazed by the size of the rolls. They're big.
Right. Go ahead.
Go ahead. What? I'm fine.
Oh, I thought you were going.
I just said they're really big. All right.
Your
what
turn.
else? My turn for what? You know what I want to get into. So you said that you don't want to.
Yeah, I'm not really one to dig into politics and all that.
What?
What the? Hold on. This is.
I mean, after everything that just went on yesterday, you're like, I don't want to talk about it.
Not right away. Not right away.
Well, that's all I have. I don't have anything.
My name is John.
Well, I mean, everything I have is on that. So, I mean, you said you had something else. You want to talk about the Taco Bell sauce packets?
I want to choke you right now. Okay.
Well, I'm going, buddy. I'm going with you. I'm running the show today.
Yeah, well, I couldn't hear that. So,
about Biden.
hoping that was ABBA. Jesus. I don't know why I couldn't hear the audio. Stupid.
Bob's acting like a dancing queen. Go ahead, Bob.
Hey, what is your problem?
I'm just singing the song.
So, now the wife isn't going to like this one. This guy cusses a lot, so she's going to want to turn it down for the next minute or so.
Or put earbuds in.
Well, she's got those in, but she doesn't like this guy.
Oh, suck it up, Tammy.
He has bad vibes to her.
Let's see.
But just a warning, anybody, kids, all that stuff. This guy, I think he goes by the name Pissed Off Vic.
Yeah, he's Vic Benedana. He's from New Jersey. He's a New Jersey comedian.
Okay. Well, he's got some gripes about the world we live in. So here's one of them. This is about bread clips.
I'm going to tell you what ticks me off. These fucking plastic clips on the plastic packaging on the English muffins or bread. You know what it is? You fucking take them off. I'm holding the camera with one hand. It's hard to do this. Anyway, you take them off, and you do what you got to do. You stick these in a toaster oven. Then when you're finally done, you say, where the fuck is that little plastic clip? They should make them fluorescent colors. Look at this. How the fuck can you find the fucking clip in my granite countertops? It's like fucking Finding Waldo. Here it is. Here's the fucking clip. Because without these fucking things, whoever invented this shit is a fucking billionaire. Make them in fluorescent so we know where the fuck they are after we take them off. Because when you lose these, you do this shit. Oh, just tuck the plastic under. That'll do. Then the next day, they're like fucking fossils.
Vic. Come on, Vic.
I think he needs to ease up a little bit, like tone it down. Like he had spittle on his lip at one point, like a little bubble of it. He's so angry, but
he does these things in his car. He does these things about everything. And when he does them in his car, you can see the spit flying out his mouth, heading towards you. You almost like your head snaps back. And listen, I understand Vic's point about those ties. I don't like them either. But I don't know about English muffins, but with bread, all you do is you give it a couple spins and you take the bread thing and push it back over the bread again like a little umbrella. And that's it. It's fine, and it doesn't get stale. Now, I don't know if you can do the same thing with the English muffin, but Vic, you got to try that.
I mean, just the other day, I lost my bread clip. It was to some hamburger buns, and I'll be damned if I just looked for a second and there it was. I didn't raise my blood pressure up to about 210.
Well, that's what we do over here in New Jersey. That's a typical New Jersey conversation. And if anywhere else in the world, see, that didn't even trigger me. I'm like, yeah, okay, Vic, I understand. Yeah, I get it.
So this couple has my wife wanting to start making TikToks.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
So these two are known for saying things, kind of snide comments to each other, and then taking off.
I think the dryer's been shrinking my clothes.
Sure it's not the refrigerator?
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left, because I've been blasted.
So she said, I think the dryer has been shrinking my clothes. And
no, I get it. And, yeah, she tossed. I've seen that couple before. There's another couple, and the wife, she's got the lip ring and she's got her head shaved and it's black and red and everything. And he'll say something to her and she'll take a fucking frying pan, and I swear to God, it looks like she brains him with the damn thing.
I seen one last night. I didn't pull the clip, but because it was kind of late. But the guy walks into the bathroom with a leaf blower, like a battery powered one, and his wife was brushing her teeth, and he blew all the toothpaste out of her mouth, like her. It just splattered all over the mirror and the wall. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. He turned it on and fucking just walked in there, and she turned and.
I would love to see you and Tammy start doing TikToks like that.
Yeah, I think we might end up in ruin if we doing those kind. Like if I pulled that kind of crap on her, she wouldn't.
Oh, of course, it's a joke. They set that up. No man would ever do that on purpose.
Right.
And yeah, there's no way.
I would though. That's the whole point. I like doing real shit. I don't like having it being staged.
Well, who has? Okay, never mind.
How about this one? This one is another. This guy is genius. He's sort of included his wife, but at a minimal level. He likes to throw cheese over him and then land it on her face.
Oh, that's a good shot. You know what? That's amazing.
I like it.
That is a talent. Forget about just to be able to throw the cheese.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. That's perfect.
Yeah, it's great. This one, first one didn't really land too good. It got her on the beer.
I got her on the beer can, but
yeah.
You should have waited until she took her sip and then threw it.
Yeah.
I mean, just to think about that. You know what he is? He's the Tom Brady of throwing cheese. It's basically what he is.
How'd that go last night? I watched it till the third quarter. I think it was 26-28, and then I ended up going to bed. With 2 seconds left on the clock, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers drove down, kicked the field goal to win the game by either 1 or 2 points. And which means our predictions were right. Tampa Bay was going to win, but the points spread on it was minus. So Tampa Bay was getting 6.5 points, so we would have lost. If I'm doing like a parlay or putting money on the game, something like that, then I work with the point spreads and all that stuff, the over and the unders. But I'm not doing that. I'm just trying to pick who's going to win the game.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with the point spread because it's easier. I mean, it's easier to pick it without the point spread. The point spread is what makes it hard. That's why there is a point spread, because it's harder.
Oh,
I'm just saying. The point spread kind of evens everything out. I thought that, how many? I think there was I saw at least 4 turnovers, and I didn't watch the whole game because I I didn't see the whole game, but I saw 4 turnovers. You can't turn the ball over 4 times. It's a miracle they won.
Well, does that turnover count at the end of the first half when Brady did the Hail Mary to the end zone?
Yeah, it does count.
That technically
it's the last play, but yeah, and nothing would happen. But yeah, there was other plays where the one guy tried to go into the end zone for Tampa Bay, and he fumbled before he got across the goal line, and they picked it up and ran it out. That would you figure you take this, add 7 points to the score, and did they score on that drive? I don't know, but when you give somebody else that many more possessions, I think that it's a miracle they won the game, but they did. So
I've tried to look this up, and while I can't find any information on this, it's still kind of interesting. If you have one of those Google Homes,
I have the other one, the lady's name from Amazon.
Alexa. Yeah,
that's it.
All right. Well, this is the one of the like the miniature versions. It's not the. I've got like the full size over here. I think we had it on the show the other day.
Right.
Y'all, I'm getting scared. Check this out. Hey, Google. Say that thing you just said a second ago.
Sure, I said. On October 31st, 2021, Google Pyramid will launch. This program will listen in on homes for suspicious activity and report findings.
Yeah, what?
Hey, you know what? Then unplug them and don't use them. Just unplug them.
Well, I did try to look up, and I didn't use Google to do it. I used other engines, and I couldn't really find anything on it, so it's probably bullshit. But the comments are kind of funny, or some of them are quite predictable. It's like, if you're not doing anything, then you don't have nothing to worry about. Well, okay, let's bring in some stranger off the street. How about bringing in a cop that you don't even know and just let him just hang out on your couch? How about that while you go about your normal business within your home?
Well, not only that, but let's say you're sitting around the house with one of your buddies, and in this day of social justice and all, and you're talking around and you're cracking some racial jokes. And in those racial jokes, you might use a slur here or there about a certain race of people. You want that? You want that out there?
Or gender,
right? People that bend their gender benders, is what we used to call them.
Maybe this is how Governor Abbott is going to stop rape with the pre-crime.
The pre-crime, well, yeah, but
if they talk about it like, yeah, I'm going to rape that chick. I'm going to rape her. Oh, I can't wait to rape her. Maybe then this thing will hear it and they can send in the Gestapo.
But most of the time, that would get maybe 1 or 2. But most of the time, it's something, an act of opportunity, or I don't know. It's not going to work. You're not going to stop rape.
All right. Well, no. This is kind of a follow-up.
Here's a way you stop rape: is if a man rapes a woman, you cut off his pecker. That's a deterrent.
But you don't do that again.
Right.
Well, they'll just use,
like I said, regret is not rape.
They'll just buy one of those Charmin Forever kits and use the holder.
Right. Women, they get a little tipsy or whatever, and then all of a sudden they don't want to, now all of a sudden it's rape. No, you said yes. Now all of a sudden you say no. There's that too.
All right. So here's a video. It's about a minute long. Try to pay attention. She does have a music bed that I don't care for.
I requested all of the data that Amazon has on me, and here's what I found. So for reference, I have 2 dots and 1 echo. We also use smart bulbs. So when I downloaded the zip file, these are all of the folders I came with. I decided to click on the audio one, and this is what I have. These are all short voice clips, which is so scary. And this one is of me turning on a light. Alexa, turn on the light. There are 3,534 short audio clips in this file alone. I then clicked on contacts, and it turns out they have a full list of my contacts from my phone, and I never remember syncing that. The very last thing that I didn't know that they had, I could have assumed that they had, but I don't love that they have, is my location. If you open up this CSV here, it'll tell you exactly where your Alexa is located, right down to the lat long. So to answer your question, I'm not totally comfortable with everything I have. Like and file for more.
Wait a minute. Play that again, because I would love to know how she got those files, because I would pull mine right now, too. Because I have 2 Echo Dots.
2 dots and 1 Echo. We also use smart bulbs. So when I downloaded the zip file, these are all of the folders that came with.
I'm sure you can just Google it on how to download your own data.
Okay.
You can you can download all your data from like Facebook too. I don't know about Twitter, but I did the Facebook thing, I don't know, a year or two ago, and they had something like 280 gigs on me. I was like, I'm not downloading that. That's going to eat up a lot of drive space. So
interesting.
Yeah, there you go. So you can find out what they've been capturing on you there, John.
I would love to.
So I didn't read the comments on that video. That was that was made, I guess, in reply to a comment on another video of hers. So I think it's cool when TikTokers do that, when they, respond with a video. So
I like it too. It makes me a little nervous.
I found a guy who I think you used to work with.
Oh my God! Here we go.
This will be my last non-political TikTok. So this guy sounds like he used to work with you.
Okay.
This is a comedian named Brendan Ayer, Eyer. Brandon with an E.
I used to work in a factory, and I worked with an old man, and he's my favorite kind of old man. He just had a million memorized sayings, and he was dirty. Like he was like a woman would walk by, and he'd be like, "Woo! I'd fuck her shadow on a gravel driveway."
Reminds me of my dad.
Which is like, you're still gonna be fucking rocks, man. I don't know what. One time,
my dad used to say, "I'd do that so many ways, she'd have to like one of them."
There was one. I worked with a guy, and he would say it all the time, and it is disgusting and gross. And he would say it all the time, and I was like, I don't even find out why that is even remotely enjoyable. I don't know if I should say it here. Should I just? He would constantly say, "My God, that woman's so good looking. I would eat the corn out of her shit."
Nah, yeah, that's a little much.
I was like, "What? Why? Why would you do that?"
My dad would say, "Man, I'd throw her out of bed," and I'm like, "Why would you do that?" He's good because there's more room in the floor.
I heard that one, or the other one is, "I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers." Okay,
yeah, I don't get that one.
Let me ask you. How ugly would you have to be for him to kick you out of bed for eating crackers? Like a 7? Did she get kicked out of bed for eating crackers? What about a 6? I don't know.
A New Jersey 5 or an Alabama 2?
Well, first of all, a Jersey 5. Yes, a Jersey 5 would be an Alabama 3. But also a Jersey 5 would be a Vegas 3.
I think Jersey 5 would be an Alabama 9.
Maybe.
I imported my wife, from another state.
I understand. But my point is that, those, I had guys who say shit like that all the time. I was like, you turn your head and you go, what? Why? What the hell?
There he goes.
One time, this is true. One time he farted and he goes, "Uh-oh, that one is going to itch when it dries." That's not even a saying, man. Nobody's ever said that before. You shit your pants. That's what you did.
So if you like Brendan, there's his name right there, Brendan Ayer. If you like him, go look him up.
You know what we call that in New Jersey? It's like if you've farted a couple times and it's hot out and it's sweaty, we call that the creamy crack. You get some creamy crack.
We call that swamp ass.
Yeah, swamp ass. Swamp ass down south, creamy crack up north.
Well, sorry to raised the bar on this particular episode of toilet paper and what you say to a woman about when she walks by and
right. Well, to continue on the swamp ass and the creamy crack. Taco Bell is now they have some kind of thing that they're doing with the packets. I don't know about you and down south, but up here you would say you get 2 tacos, and they say, "Would you like some sauce?" And you say, "Yeah, can I get some hot sauce with that?" And they would hand you a bag full of sauce.
Yes,
and it would and so I was like, "Well, I don't need all that." I used to say to her, "Give me 2 packets. I don't need all that sauce. I need 2 packets of sauce. I got 2 tacos. It shouldn't be that hard. I don't need like 10." My girlfriend at the time, she would say, "Bring them home." And she would take those packets, open them up, and make her own nachos at home. It was crazy. But anyhow, there's tons and tons. Everybody's refrigerator probably has packets of shit like this in the refrigerator. Bring them home. They don't want to ruin them.
We've got these out. We've got crap from Zaxby's and Captain D's and all over the place. And you never know because you run out of ketchup. And you're like, damn it. And I just made fries. And then you're like, oh, shoot, I got like 15 ketchup packets left from going out, whatever.
They don't seem to ever go bad in those packets.
No.
So in the apocalypse, you can have some condiments.
So now I'm going to speak now, John. If need be, I can mute you, but I'm going to go through this news story. Okay?
Go ahead.
So in an effort to be more green, Taco Bell recently removed their Mexican pizza from menus, citing that it used too much cardboard packaging that was just ending up in landfills. So if you wondered why they removed the Mexican pizza from the menu, there it is. Too much waste. I didn't know that. I just thought they were like, fuck that pizza. We're not doing it anymore. So TerraCycle is a New Jersey-based company that worked with other companies such as Procter & Gamble and Unilever to create reusable packaging instead of single use. Now it's teaming up with Taco Bell, and a first for fast food, and asking you for your used sauce packets. Taco Bell said that more than 8 billion sauce packets are used every year in the United States alone, a huge number that's potentially environmentally damaging. Customers will be able to sign up for a TerraCycle account, that's Terra cycle, and collect empty sauce packets in a recyclable container. Once full, you can print a free shipping label from TerraCycle's website and ship the box back via UPS. Taco Bell said that it will display QR codes and other signage in various parts of restaurants to promote the program and encourage signups. So,
hey, you know what, guys? This right here, this rambling, boring conversation containing already made before observations, this could be a podcast.
All right. So what basically, I understand. To me, that's a bullshit story because first of all, what happened was they couldn't raise the price on the Mexican pizza because of the packaging. So that's why they just did away with it. They couldn't make enough profit on it. So they don't give a shit about landfills.
Oh, yes, they do.
One corporation gives a shit about landfills. All they care about is the almighty dollar.
Hey, they closed a Taco Bell near my house that was perfectly nothing wrong with it other than the fact that it was dangerous to cross the road to get to it. So they moved it across the street and built a whole brand new one. I think that's environmentally friendly. While the old building sits there in ruin with nobody giving a shit about it and grass growing up to the point where you can't hardly see the fucking parking lot.
Or maybe they moved it because they weren't getting enough traffic flow because it was dangerous to get to. So they moved it across the street because they would make more, say it, profit.
No.
They don't give a shit about the environment.
Oh.
Corporations are soulless entities that only are there to make money. They're not there to make tacos. They use tacos to make money. That's all. That's all they care about.
I'd read a while back, I don't know if it's valid today, but I'd read a while back that their meat is 80% silicone.
I would believe that.
So there you go.
You know what runs right through me? Silicone. Because when I go over there and I said, if you're ever backed up, here you go. Constipated, I'll tell you what to do. Go to Dunkin' Donuts, get yourself an extra large coffee, and then go to Taco Bell and get your normal order. Eat the Taco Bell, drink the coffee, and be near a toilet. Because in the next 15 minutes, anything that you had in you will be out.
Hopefully you have one of those new Charmin Forever rolls.
Yes, you would need a Charmin Forever roll.
The Boomer Bunker colon cleanse.
That's exactly it. A nice big cup of coffee and some Taco Bell, and that'll turn any blockage you have. It'll liquefy anything that's in there.
So I see you have one story on top of the other. I kind of feel like the MK one should go before the HS one, but that's up to you.
Okay, so Megyn Kelly left Fox News over. Oh, wait a minute. She left Fox News to go to NBC. And so she was at NBC, and they were sitting there having conversations about Halloween costumes and what were appropriate Halloween costumes and what were culturally insensitive Halloween costumes. And she was talking about blackface. And this is what she said. She goes, why is it that a white person could not dress up as Aretha Franklin or Ray Charles or Michael Jackson? Why is that culturally inappropriate? And then they made her bend the knee and come back and apologize. And then once she apologized, they fired her.
Yeah.
All right. So then she went, and then of course she's been in news for a while, and she's made a lot of money. She started a new podcast, the Megyn Kelly podcast. And I loved it because the great thing about podcasting is you can have long form conversations about topics
and no time limits.
No time limits, and really dig into them. And I really enjoyed her show. Well,
all right, John, we're up against a hard break here. So
yeah, I know.
30 seconds.
So then the next thing I know, she took a job at Sirius XM, and she's on one of those, I don't know, 5,000 channels that they have over there. And now her show's an hour, and she gets 3 guests, and each of them have 20 minutes, so they can have a conversation for 20 minutes, and that's it. And now it sucks. And I get it, Megyn, that now you're with a company and you have to worry about a bunch of shit and all, but you gave up. What you gave up is what your audience really, really wanted. And of course, I'm subscribed to the show, and she's going to put out a show, but it's not as good as the old show. I was nothing better to listen to Megyn Kelly say, you know what, that's fucking bullshit.
So she's on their Triumph channel. If anybody's trying to find it, I had to look it up. I have XM. I don't really.
Right. Or if you want to listen to it when you want to listen to it, you can always just type in her name, Megyn Kelly, into your podcast app and then download her podcast. But
right. Well, some people do have XM radio, so I was trying to.
I understand that, Bob. I get that. But what I'm saying is that people like Joe Rogan and other podcasts will take and have a guest on Tim Pool. They'll talk about a subject for as long as it takes to get through the subject. And now, she says, well, I only have to worry about 2 hours. So basically, she just wants to show up and do her show. I'm not saying she doesn't do prep for the show and she doesn't have to read and do research and stuff like that. Yeah. But I really felt like she was on to something, and now she kind of just goes to Sirius XM, and I guess they take care of her or whatever. And then I guess she's got health insurance and stuff like that she doesn't have to worry about. And she doesn't have to sell her own advertising and all that other stuff. So I guess she doesn't want to do any of that. But you could, again, run a business and pay for that. I just think she's leaving a lot of money on the table, and the product's going to suffer.
Well, her podcast is on a network, right? It's on like a.
No, it wasn't.
I thought it was on like a Westwood One type.
No, it wasn't. It was her own podcast on her own network. She did everything.
I didn't know that. Now, the reason that I had heard about this because I guess Adam Curry was going to be. They contacted him to be a guest on their show this past Tuesday morning, and something happened and it didn't take place, and he found out that it was going to be for her XM, show and not for her podcast. Her, like you were saying, on no rules, basically just no time limits, none of that stuff, just an open talk. And he was like, oh man, and something happened. He podcasted about it. I don't know if they heard him complaining on his show about it and decided to postpone him or something, but right now it's up in the air. So I think exactly. They got the hint that he wants to be on the podcast, not on the XM radio show.
Well, there's no such thing anymore. Basically what they're doing is they're taking the XM radio show and they're repurposing it as a podcast. There's
really?
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just a repurposed podcast.
Because her show, like you said, it could be one guest and be an hour, 2 hours long, no real rules. But this is, I think the format, if I'm correct, is 3 guests, 20 minutes each, boom, done.
Yeah, exactly. 3 guests, then a commercial break, and the show's done. It's maybe an hour or two. I don't know. Let's see what the latest one was.
20 minutes is not enough with Adam Curry. That dude can talk.
No, I understand. Okay, here we go. Hour 34 is the one that she did on yesterday. Hour 34, the one before that, 59, the one before that, hour 30. So she's doing like an hour 30. So basically, and they're not cutting out all the commercials. They're just cutting out the commercials that, the XM commercials. She also has other commercials on her podcast.
Right. They added in her podcaster supporters, whatever, sponsors.
Yeah. So, and again, I don't know when she started this show.
Back in July, it was announced. I've got the article right here. Okay. It would start August 16th. Sorry. And it says here also on Triumph is Dr. Laura, Dave Ramsey, Nancy Grace, and Glenn Beck.
Dr. Laura. She's still a thing? Dr. Laura.
I never really listened to her, to be honest with you. So I don't have anything to judge. XM subscribers will gain video access to the show after premiering on the satellite platform. The Megyn Kelly Show will then be available as a podcast on the SXM app, Pandora, Stitcher, and other major platforms.
Well, I mean, if I'm looking over there, she had Wesley Yang on there for 2 hours and 11 minutes. But, then the one day she had Larry Elder right before before they threw eggs at him. And then after that, they had Caitlyn Jenner on. And I'm like, why not put the two of them on together?
It says Red Seat Ventures, which handled production and distribution of the podcast, will continue to produce the program. So Red Seat Ventures.
The name of, let me see if I can see. If you look at, her company, her media company is called the Devil May Care Media Company. Devil May Care.
Devil May Care Media. Okay.
Yeah, because she used to say, the devil may care, I do not.
For some reason, I thought that she was on a kind of like Dennis Miller was on Westwood One. You get a lot of these larger news type networks that have hosts that have had their own news show or whatever.
Right, and they help with advertising. So you get a show, Westwood One picks it up. You move your show over to their thing. They put in dynamic ads wherever they want to put them in, and then you get. Usually it's like $25 per 1,000 downloads per month per episode. So let's say you had 10,000 downloads per episode, you'd get 35 times 10 or something like that. It's not a lot of money, to be honest with you.
I didn't know we were doing math on the show.
I know. It's hard, very, very hard to do podcast math. I don't know why that is. It just is. All right. We got 10 minutes. 12 minutes.
We can go as long as we want. What are we on, XM now?
No, I guess not. I just figured that we usually do an hour.
Well, the natural story to go into, that one. I think I'd kind of rather you pull up the video on this one. I've got it, but I think I'd rather you.
My buddy, my former buddy, Howard Stern.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've never really been a fan of his. I've never honestly listened to an entire episode or show.
He was an amazing entertainer back in the late 80s, early 90s through the 2000s, right up until he went to America's Got Talent. He was one of the best performers that I think I've ever seen, as far as radio and anything else. And
I watched his live show when wasn't it on like E or something back in the 90s?
He had a show on E Entertainment. Before that, he was on Channel 9 and cable companies. Most cable companies got Channel 9 and Channel 11 out of New York. And he had a Channel 9 show that was unbelievable. And yesterday we did gaslighting. I did with Devin. And we got into this story. And I said, it's really funny that he gets a pass and he's not been canceled, because back on that Channel 9 show, there when Whoopi Goldberg was dating Ted Danson. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And they had a roast of Whoopi Goldberg, and Ted Danson showed up in blackface.
Yes, I remember that.
Okay, so they did the jokes, and then there was a little bit of outrage, and then Whoopi said, "Hey, I wrote these jokes for him." The next week, Howard Stern went on his Channel 9 show, and he had the guy from the Jeffersons, Sherman
Helmsley.
Sherman Helmsley played Whoopi Goldberg, and Howard was Ted Danson, and Howard was in blackface. And it's still, you can find the video on YouTube right now, and it is the most unbelievably racist.
Well, do you think that might be partially why he cucks so hard for the left now? Because he's trying to be one. Because if you're one of them, they won't cancel you.
No, I think the problem is that he's older now, and he wants to go to these parties. He's out in Hampton. He's got a lot of money, and he knows that he was a pariah. He was a pariah. He was, I gotta be honest with you, he was probably one of like the original trolls. He would send Stuttering John to press conferences to ask crazy questions. And,
red carpet events.
Right. And he wouldn't, and people and celebrities would not come on his shows because he would ask them really, really poignant questions that they didn't want to answer. And a lot of people wouldn't go on his show. Now, the people that would go on, he's an amazing interviewer too. So the people that would go on the show, he would, they would have a conversation, kind of like what would happen in a podcast. And, they were amazing interviews, but there was a lot of people that would not go on his show until he kind of softened up and moved on over and was doing those Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon like interviews where he wouldn't ask the tough questions. He wouldn't go back into their history and dig up some stuff that would make them uncomfortable and have them explain it.
Yeah.
So after America's Got Talent, when he was on there, that's when this whole thing switched over with him. That's when he pussified, in my humble opinion. So he was on his XM show, and now he's a germaphobe too. So now he's upset, and we all need to get the vaccine now. Everybody in the United States, because he's sick and tired of being locked in his house.
Well, there were, he claims 4 in this, that there were 4 radio jockeys who died, and I've only could find 3 of them.
Okay.
That were anti-vaxxers. They were unvaccinated critics of inoculation efforts, and they all died after contracting COVID. Now,
but they made that choice. They made that choice.
But it was Dick Farrell. I don't know if you know who that is.
No.
A guy named Phil Valentine. That sounds quite familiar.
I don't know him either.
And another guy, most recently, Mark Bernier.
I've heard of Mark Bernier.
Bernier.
All right. So the issue is that these guys those radio hosts didn't want to get the vaccine. So they took and they gambled with COVID, and guess what? They lost. And who knows if they took the vaccine and would have made a difference? And who knows if they took the vaccine and they had an adverse effect from the vaccine? No one knows. But
did they him kind of taking a shit on them, which after they're gone too, which is kind of, you would think you would think that you're on the same team. You're all radio guys, right?
No,
no.
Yeah, radio guys hate each other because everything's a competition. It's all ratings. It's a big giant competition. Radio guys hate each other. The radio business is the filthiest, dirtiest, underhanded business. That one of them. You could be in there doing a great job, and if somebody else, I can't wait for one of these TikTok influencers to get a radio gig because they're a TikTok influencer. It's just a seedy, horrible business.
Well, like what happened to Eric Zane. I mean, him and his team, they were doing pretty good, and then all of a sudden they just decided to change the format.
Right. You can't make a joke anymore. You can't be entertaining. You can't make a joke. He was like a comedian on a morning show, and he made some kind of comment, and the next thing you know, all 3 of them got fired, and the program director.
Yeah.
Over something stupid. There wasn't even anything. It comes on and apologizes, and So anyhow, here's
Go ahead, roll this.
how the great have fallen.
But it's really funny when the radio guys are the best. Like 4 of them died. 4 of them who were like ranting on the air, they will not get vaccinated. They were on fire, these guys. It was like day after day. They were all dying. And then their dying words are, I wish I had been more into the vaccine. I wish I had taken it.
You know, I have trouble drumming up compassion. And
She could have ended that sentence right there. All her life, she has had trouble drumming up compassion.
I think that's a terrible thing, to not be able to drum up compassion for people that stupid.
Well, isn't she to Howard what Devin is to you on gaslighting, kind of? Is that a fair comparison?
No, and I'll tell you why. She actually does work and brings things to the show. And
damn, hit was made. Shots fired. Shots fired.
Yeah, absolutely. She, they don't do the news anymore. I heard they don't do the news anymore. Before, she would do the news. She would get all the news stories. Yeah. And no, she's not the Devin to mine. She is a sidekick, and I think it
listens everything he says. Does she ever disagree with him?
Oh,
never.
yeah.
I've never heard her disagree with him.
Oh no, they've had fights. They've disagreed.
Where do I have that clip of that Mark Bernier guy? Bernier, the guy who died.
Bernier, dumbass.
This is the guy. I'm not getting the vaccine. Fuck, but that's the guy who died.
That's a great question, and we were going to talk about that as far as the vaccine goes. What about you?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, what about you?
Are you kidding me, Mr. Anti-Vax? Cheapers. Ever?
Cheapers.
No.
Anti-vax, Mr. Anti-vax.
And he died?
Yeah, he's dead. He no longer walks. There were 3 other guys too. I don't have tape of all of them. And they're on the radio preaching this shit. I tell you what, as far as I remember, when I went to school, you had to get a measles vaccine. You had to get a mumps vaccine. You had to get, there was a ton of them you got.
All right, stop.
Dude.
Do you know why you had to get a measles vaccine and a mumps vaccine and polio and all that? Because when you got that vaccine when you were a kid, you were guaranteed to never, ever, ever, ever get that disease or that virus.
Right. You won't get measles. You won't get mumps. See, I didn't have back then. I had the chicken pox. I've had the measles, and I've had the mumps. All right. So I had natural immunity. So you know what I never got again? The measles, the chicken pox, or the.
Well, you only get chicken pox once.
Right. So then when the measles vaccine came out, they said, they said to me, as a child, this is, decades ago. When the measles vaccine came out, they said, would you like have you had the measles? And I said, yeah, I had it when I was a kid. And they go, okay, then you don't need this vaccine. So I never had the measles vaccine.
Well, I don't understand why they're not offering that now.
Well, because everything's political. All right. And you can't get it. And I blame the medical profession for bending a knee to the government. And instead of standing up and taking your oath that you took when you became a doctor to treat people and say, you know what, we're going to do this. But no, it's not, because everything is, again, hospitals are a corporation and all they care about is making money.
Well, these colleges where these, doctors get their medical degrees from, they're also heavily supported financially through big food and big pharma.
Okay.
And that alters the curriculum to suit their financial needs.
And, they practice medicine. All right. In other words, they've been doctors for 20 years. They're still practicing medicine.
Right.
And a lot of doctors practice, instead of giving this vaccine, they practice, if you get it, getting hydrocortisone, that name I can't say, and HCQ, and ivermectin, and they give you Z-Pak, and they give you steroids, and they monitor you, and they tell you to take the cough syrup, the
codeine cough syrup.
No, not the codeine. It's one that brings up phlegm or stops you from getting phlegm.
Sure. Okay,
so they do that, and they've treated people, and a lot of people have gotten better. All right, but they catch it early. What now the CDC course is if, hey, when you can't breathe, come in a hospital. Well, you've already started to get pneumonia. So now you go there and they can't do nothing for you except stick you on a ventilator, turn you on your belly, and wait for you to die.
Pretty much.
So yeah, so there's nothing they will not allow it. And here's the thing: if ivermectin, which is won a Nobel Prize and is out there, and the same thing with HCQ that's been out there for other people, why and they've been taking it, why can't they take? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Who cares? It's not going to hurt you. I'm telling you right now, if they found out tomorrow that Tylenol stopped and cured COVID, they would take it off the market. They do not want to treat this virus because if they treat it, they can't have a vaccine for it. And for whatever reason, whatever they want to put in this fucking vaccine and jam it into us, and it's not working. You go to Israel right now, and there was a big giant Pfizer test. Everybody over in Israel was vaccinated with Pfizer, and it worked great. The numbers dropped and everything. Now, all of a sudden, 8 months later, numbers are coming up. People that have been vaccinated, they're getting in again. They're in the hospitals. People are dying with this vaccine, and they're not saying anything because
Israel has one of the highest rates of infection of any industrialized country on this planet.
All you need, listen, I'm vaccinated. So don't worry about, I've taken it. I've taken the Pfizer vaccine, but this is all you have to tell me. The president of Pfizer has not been vaccinated with his vaccine. What does that tell you? If this was such a great vaccine and there was no problem with it and it was fine, why isn't he vaccinated with his own vaccine?
They're all like, I don't understand all this hesitancy. How about, let's see. Last year, you guys were all, hey, remdesivir, and then it killed 56 people, and then you're like, vaccine.
Well, again, the first person they should mandatory vaccinate is everybody at Pfizer. Does Pfizer have now? They have over 100 employees now. Does everybody at Pfizer now have to get the vaccine?
Well, do you want to skip the rest of this clip since we have the
No, I don't.
Go into the rest of it?
No, because I'm not done with him yet.
All right, well, go back
I was
to him
his
then.
big giant fan, and now this is.
In order to go to school, you have to have certain vaccines.
When are we going to stop putting up with the idiots in this country and just say?
I stopped putting up with the idiots in this country when I stopped listening to him as soon as he started with the America's Got Talent.
It's mandatory to get vaccinated. Fuck them. Fuck their freedom.
Fuck their freedom
to live. I want to get out of the house already. I want to go next door and play chess. I want to go take some pictures.
You're a germaphobe.
Yeah, he's a germaphobe. Listen,
had issues before.
He's double vaccinated. Go next door and play some fucking chess. Go outside with your model wife and take some goddamn pictures. This is a self-imposed prison by him. He'll never go out of the house as long as there's one case of COVID. He will die like Howard Hughes.
Do you think he's mandating it for his crew?
Oh, absolutely he would. He won't go back to his studio. He's double vaccinated. Everybody in his office is double vaccinated. He is still down in the Hamptons. He won't even go into New York City. He's in the Hamptons. He got all this equipment. They brought him the equipment. He wouldn't touch the equipment for 2 weeks. He wanted to make sure all the COVID had died on the equipment before he would.
Even though that they have released many news stories proving that it cannot live on surfaces.
But what I'm saying is this guy will never, it doesn't matter. He could vaccinate everybody and you're still going to have COVID. You're getting breakthrough cases anyhow.
That's the whole point. The only way to herd immunity, which sucks, is if everybody just gets it. It sucks. I mean, I've actually heard of them having COVID parties so that they would get it. These, youngsters, and
right.
Of course, that was being jeered upon. But I think it's their right. I don't agree with it. I don't agree that. I don't believe in being that careless with it. You could easily infect somebody that you care about that may not fare as well as you do with the virus.
The thing is, Bob, if you're vaccinated, you can still carry the virus and you can still give it to somebody.
Right.
You can give it to somebody that's vaccinated.
That's how I don't understand all of this. You can get in to whatever restaurant, whatever, if you're vaccinated and you have your vaccine passport or whatever. I don't understand all of that because it just doesn't make sense. It just because you're just as dangerous as unvaccinated people are.
What about all the people that have already had the virus and don't need the vaccine because they have natural immunity and they won't get it again? Or if they do get it again, it will be.
I'm going to bring
up. I love this content. Put that comment up there. The vaccine should be tested on politicians first. If they survive, the vaccine is safe. If they don't, then the country is safe. I love that. I love that statement.
And that was, I guess, a quote from Monica, and I will not try to say that last name.
Well, I don't know. I would say some Polak.
Don't be dick.
Hey,
half of my family is Polacks.
I'm Polish.
Really?
Yeah, I could say Polak. You know why? Because I'm
There
Polish.
you go.
There you go. I can say it.
Yeah, I don't know that I have any Pole in me. Get it?
I do. I'm
Ooh, I bet you do.
like 75% Pole.
Got a big old pole in you.
Got a big old pole. Yeah, I can do that. But back to this nonsense is that it doesn't matter. Everybody could be vaccinated. Go out and play chess, Howard. You know what the best thing that would happen to Howard Stern is if he went out and got COVID and got over it. All right.
Yeah.
He would do the same thing that Joe Rogan did. He would have a doctor. He'd
He
have
was vaccinated.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. If he got it, he would have a doctor. He would get ivermectin. He would get all this shit that he's talking about, and he would take it all, the high dose vitamin drips and all that shit, and he would get over it, and then he could get on with his goddamn life.
She also says, in a free society, the state does not administer the affairs of men. It administers justice among men who conduct their own affairs. And that's from Walter Lippmann.
Hey, I like this.
Yes. Where did we find a big brain to listen to this show?
I have no idea. After listening to me ramble on for about an hour. Yeah, sorry, Gloria.
Person on retainer.
Yeah, sorry, Gloria.
Keep them around.
Keep them coming, Gloria. But, and Biden now, they're basically, the government is trying to circumvent the Constitution by using companies, the things that they can't do, they're pressuring companies to do. And again, you know what's going to happen is they're going to start going after your money because they're going to use the big banks to go after your money. If you don't do this, if you don't do that, they're going to take your money. They're going to fine you. This is what they're going to do to these businesses. Can I play a clip?
I wish you would.
This clip, it's a little long, but it really describes to me basically why we shouldn't have the mandate and why businesses should stand up to this.
Is this the Jeremy Boring?
It's the Jeremy Boring video. He is from the Daily Wire. That is the Ben Shapiro company.
Yes.
It is a conservative company. I am a Daily Wire supporter and subscriber, so I'm just going to let you know that.
It's also kosher.
It is also kosher. The Daily Wire has shows on it like the Ben Shapiro show, the Matt Walsh show, the Michael Knowles show. They have a bunch of, the Candace Owens show is on the Daily Wire network. And Jeremy is Ben's business partner, and he comes up with this, and I could not agree with this more. I almost stood up and applauded. I applauded from my seat. I'm not standing up.
Now, this is a moderately long video.
Yes, Bob. Can you shut up while I play this now? Thank you.
Lick taint.
Today, Joe Biden announced he was going to use the full force of the federal government to mandate that all companies with 100+ employees force their workers to be vaccinated or subject them to weekly tests for COVID-19. I just got off the phone with our lawyers, and I just want to reiterate something that I already said today on Twitter. No, the Daily Wire does have more than 100 employees, but we won't be enforcing Joe Biden's unconstitutional and tyrannical vaccine mandate. That's it. We'll use every tool at our disposal, including legal action, to resist. Biden's ultimatum will impact over 80 million private sector workers. Companies that refuse to comply will face up to $14,000 in fines for every single violation. So I'm sure most companies will probably just do it. They don't have much choice. We won't. It's not that we're anti-vaccine. I'm personally very pro-vaccine. I think the COVID vaccines are probably the greatest scientific achievement so far in the 21st century. And I think the speed at which they were created may be Trump's greatest achievement as president.
Oh,
sick burn.
He did not just say that. He did not just say that. Oh, hold on.
Yes, he did. No cap.
My favorite troll is back. There he is.
He never left.
Favorite troll.
He never.
Oh, I miss him when he doesn't comment. All right, back to Jeremy.
They seem to do a pretty good job preventing hospitalization and a great job preventing death from COVID-19. That's terrific. If I were a dictator, I'd probably make you get it. But I'm not a dictator, and neither is Joe Biden. He has no right to impose this burden on American businesses. How are we supposed to pay for it? What are we going to do with all these new liabilities that we incur from injecting ourselves into the private health decisions of our employees? More to the point, he has no right to impose this burden on the American people. It's anti-science and it's totalitarian, and we cannot comply with it. I say anti-science because the mandate contains no exceptions for those in low-risk demographic groups. There's no exceptions for those with natural immunity. Also, there's no taking into account the fact that these vaccines are pretty effective. So if you're vaccinated, congratulations, you're at low risk from COVID-19, whether your neighbor's vaccinated or not. And that's good news, since your vaccinated neighbor can still transmit the damn disease. And I say it's tyrannical because using unelected bureaucratic machinery like OSHA to force small businesses into becoming the vaccine and testing enforcement arm of the federal government is definitionally anti-democratic. It marks a dramatic break with our constitutional order. According to Reuters, 75% of American adults are already vaccinated. At least they've already received one dose of the vaccine. And 53%, according to the CDC, are fully vaccinated. So people who want the COVID vaccine already have it. And those who don't want it shouldn't have to get it because it's a free country. It's not your job to protect me from me. And you already have the tools to protect yourself from me. So Joe Biden has no compelling reason to encroach on our liberties, other than he just doesn't like what we do with them. Well, guess what? Joe Biden isn't your mom. The government isn't your mom. And your employer sure as hell isn't your mom. We've already watched for over a year and a half as Americans have ceded liberty after liberty to wannabe tyrants like Anthony Fauci. They broke our economy. They locked us in our homes. They destroyed our supply chains. They crushed our small businesses. They masked our children.
You know what they did?
That is enough.
That's enough. He's right. It's enough.
Well,
enough
for once, Jeremy wasn't boring.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's enough with this bullshit. It's never enough. 2 weeks to stop the spread or to flatten the curve. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Next thing you know, here it is. 2 years later, we're still locked in. Over in Australia, one apartment building over there, you weren't even allowed to have more than 6 beers. This is bullshit. It's all bullshit.
The new logo.
Exactly what's going on. Right. And listen, you know what I say, Biden, keep this up because in 2022, there will be such a red wave. We will not have to worry about the Democrats anymore because they will be a thing of the past.
They'll be dead. I'm sorry.
No. The problem is,
I won't say that.
Here's the other issue. Why do you care? Most of the people that aren't taking this vaccine are Republicans. So the more Republicans that croak because of COVID, the better there's more Democrats that are there to vote. We don't have to worry about us anymore. The problem with this is the people that are not taking this vaccine, and they're not saying this, is mostly black and brown Americans who do not trust this and do not want to take this. 40% of the teachers in New York City are unvaccinated. All right. So why don't you start with them? All right. Start with the unions. Let's do that.
You're going to have mass unemployment going on. You've got bus drivers. You've got school systems that have dozens upon dozens upon dozens. Like I seen one the other day. It was like 190 bus drivers quit because they don't want it.
The unions are already gearing up to oppose this. And you know who the big backers of Democrats are? Unions. So let's see what happens when they start doing this to the postal unions. Let's see what happens when they start to shove this down the teachers' unions. This is bullshit, and they're not going to put up with it. And you keep flapping your gums over there, Joe Biden, you addled old piece of shit. I'll tell you what, I really never understood how people could hate Trump as much as they hated Trump. I understand it now. I really do. And I'll tell you what, got another little video here for you. This one here kind of explains everything too. You haven't seen this one yet?
Way to go, dumbasses. You voted this son of a bitch in. Now he wants to do mandatory vaccinations for companies with over 100 employees. If not, you must be tested weekly. And then those tests, the cost of those tests can be passed on to the employees to pay for? Really? This is what you voted in? God, you guys are stupid.
But he did say that Walmart, Amazon, and Kroger would be offering those tests at a low cost. I think it's like $20 a piece.
Okay.
So that's the answer, huh?
Well, I mean, I think the unvaccinated should have their own say, and I think this is a perfect example.
Dear vaccinated, trust your vaccine and shut the fuck up. Sincerely, the unvaccinated.
Well, I've got, for those who didn't or don't give a shit enough to actually watch, I can't watch Biden doing any kind of a speech at all because it's unwatchable.
Mm-hmm.
So I like it when they kind of clip the important parts, I guess, if anything he does say is important. But so you can just tell me when to stop and you have something to say, okay?
Stop. Just kidding. Go ahead.
Hey, you know what, guys?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. Let's hear what Governor Dickhead says.
We must increase vaccinations among the unvaccinated with new vaccination requirements.
So basically, if you didn't get it, you're going to be forced to.
Of the nearly 80 million eligible Americans who have not gotten vaccinated, many said they were waiting for approval from the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA. Well, last month, the FDA granted that approval.
What does that mean to you that they granted approval?
That's not, again, this son of a bitch has lied and lied and lied. Hey, Joe, guess what? Back in 1974, there wasn't a way to pull up all the videos and show you lying. But now in 2021, everybody's got a camera. All this video is all over YouTube. And all we have to do is do one little search and we can find your lying ass saying shit. Just a few months ago, he said he would never mandate vaccines. Never mandate vaccines. And here we are. This lying piece of shit. I don't want to hear. Again, I'm going back to the voters. You stupid assholes. Look what you've done to this country. Look what you've done. This is what we got. And behind him, worse.
I blame the poll workers, not the voters.
FDA granted that approval. So the time for waiting is over. This summer, we made progress through the combination of vaccine requirements and incentives, as well as the FDA approval. 4 million more people got their first shot in August than they did in July.
Okay, so it went from, hey, here's a vaccine. Come on. To, hey, get the vaccine. We'll give you $100 and a hamburger. Now it's take it or else.
Right.
Take it or be homeless, you piece of shit.
In New Jersey, we have 11 million people. Over 6 million people in New Jersey have both shots. All right.
Wow.
We're still getting 1,200 cases a day. 1,200 cases a day of COVID. You know how many people are dying? But here's the problem. You know how many people are dying?
Go.
Basically 5 to 8, maybe, it was up to 20. But before we were getting 300, 400 a day that were dying from COVID.
Well, they sell it as everybody who catches it is unvaccinated, and everybody who dies is unvaccinated, and that's a lie. That is an outright lie.
Well, I will say this, that the numbers are showing that the people that are vaccinated, I mean, the people that are in the hospitals and are dying from this are mostly unvaccinated. That is true. But they made that choice. This is America. They can make a choice to die. They can make that choice if they want to. They had, again, this virus has if you're within a certain age range, has like a 99.97% recovery rate. And that's if you don't take anything.
Yeah, but choice is not part of the Build Back Better plan. Back to the video.
Again, here we are with this is the United States of America. There's a constitution. This adult, old, demented piece of shit put his hand on a Bible on January 20th or 21st. I don't remember.
20th.
And said that he would take and defend the Constitution of the United States. And this is not defending the Constitution of the United States. He should be impeached. He should be arrested for treason, and whatever they do for treason. Didn't they used to hang him back in the day? That's what should happen to this guy. Everything he touches turns to shit. He hasn't made a right decision since he's been president. And the fact that I have to sit there and go back and say, thank you, Biden voters. Thank God we don't have mean tweets. Thank God we don't have Donald Trump in here. And I didn't like him. Listen, I did not like it when he was on Twitter and doing that shit too. I said, go in there and slap that goddamn phone out of his hand. But what he didn't do is he didn't run with his tail between his legs out of Afghanistan and leave people behind. He would have never done that. And when they attacked the embassy in Iraq, what did he do? 2 days later, the guy that planned the attack, he made Alpo out of him with a drone strike. And the Taliban were terrified of Trump. And this pussy right here, they don't give a shit about. They're making jokes and memes and cartoons. And we look like jerk-offs.
Because he's not running anything. He is Ronald McDonald.
Look at him. Look at him straining to see that fucking teleprompter.
A personal choice. It's about protecting yourself and those around you.
So this is not about freedom or personal choice. This is about protecting those around you.
It's all it's about. That's all. You know what, Joe? How about today? Why don't you get one of those thousands of people to work for you to go over and grab a copy of the Constitution and read it to you again?
Let me ask you this. Why do you think there are so many people who do not necessarily trust the government?
What does the government run? What? There's two things that the government runs.
A simple question.
I'm answering your question. If you shut up,
land the plane.
The first thing the government does well is tax. That's what they do well. The second thing that the government does well is the military. Anything else besides those two things, they fuck up royale. And if you say print money is what they do well, that's not well. That's also a problem.
Right. That's the point. They write checks really good.
Yeah. Well,
but the reason there's so many people who don't trust the government is because of them.
Of course. We've watched it for years and years and years. And here's the other thing. Where is Congress? Where is Congress? And where are these Republicans sitting on their thumbs, hiding, pussies? Where are you? You're the assholes we voted in to keep this asshole in check. Where are you? You're nowhere. Nowhere to be found.
Right now they're on vacation.
Vacation? They're on vacation.
They'll go back. They'll come back soon to their offices.
He's destroying the country. Get back in there and start doing your goddamn job. Take vacation. But take vacation when he has a stroke.
But they're only hurting people that are paycheck to paycheck. And let's be honest, those people are expendable.
There's more people that are living paycheck to paycheck than not living paycheck to paycheck.
No shit, Sherlock.
And when you piss these people off, go ahead. Listen, we're heading towards the Civil War. The demise of America is happening right before our eyes. And this is why. This Build Back Better moron.
Okay. I need a favor.
Go ahead.
Put on your heart monitor and then put the monitor part
I'm fine.
On the screen so that we can watch what this video does to you.
Okay, go ahead.
The people you work with, the people you care about, the people you love. My job as president is to protect all Americans. So tonight, I'm announcing that the Department of Labor is developing an emergency rule to require all employers with 100 or more employees that together employ over 80 million workers to ensure their workforces are fully vaccinated or show a negative test at least once a week. Some of the biggest companies are already requiring this. United Airlines, Disney, Tyson's Food, and even Fox News. The bottom line, we're going to protect vaccinated workers from unvaccinated coworkers. We're going to reduce the spread of COVID-19.
Stop that video. Why? Why do you have to protect? If the goddamn vaccine works, why do you have to protect the vaccinated from the unvaccinated? Why do you have to protect the vaccinated? If the thing works, why do you have to protect them?
We've gone over on this show recently the three potential reasons of why this is a thing. One, they're dumb as shit. Two, money, and three, well, tinfoil hat reasons of why they want this in your body.
If this vaccine works, then you don't need to protect the vaccinated from the unvaccinated. They're protected. If it doesn't work, then why do the rest of us have to take the shitting thing?
Well, they're already talking about the Mu variant.
Mu my ass. Everything's going to be a variant. You know why? I tell you what. You know what they're saying now? The reason that this thing is mutating so bad and so fast
because of the vaccine.
Because of the vaccine.
Yes.
The people that get it, the virus, it's mutating and coming back out again.
Well, yeah. When you research prior outbreaks, you find that when they introduced a vaccine, it created new variants.
Look, I'm going to tell you something right now. If I ran this country, this is what would happen. If you want to get vaccinated, here's my 3-step plan. If you want to get vaccinated, get vaccinated. And go to your doctor and have the doctor go over your history to see if this vaccine will be safe for you. All right. If you can't get vaccinated or you don't want to get vaccinated, make drugs like ivermectin, HCQ, steroids. Have a plan of action that once you feel symptoms and you test positive, that you can be put on a plan of high dose vitamin drips, all that shit that Joe Rogan took. Have a plan and a course of action for regular, everyday Americans to have that. And then if this all if that doesn't work and you die, well, you die. I mean, again, we don't live forever. And when your time's up, your time's up. And if you're supposed to die of COVID, you're supposed to die of COVID. It could happen to me.
Could happen to all of us.
Right. But what, like I said, I took the vaccine because there's several comorbidities that I have that this thing would take me out. I know.
I should have the right. I had COVID early on before it was even known. Okay. And it damn near killed my ass.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the doctor immediately, like within an hour of me getting sick, like feeling weird. I went to the doctor and they gave me what they could. It was an unknown virus. So they gave me what they could. I did it and I laid on the couch for 8 days. And my wife told me I turned gray like an alien. All right.
Yeah, because you weren't getting enough oxygen.
But at the end of the day, I have natural immunity. So I should be allowed to trust my natural immunity, which I trust, even though it's been, a year and a half or more. I trust that more than a shot. Sorry.
Here's the other thing. They're saying now that, all those cigarettes that you're smoking during the show.
Actually, well, nicotine.
Nicotine helps out with the severity of the symptoms of COVID.
Yeah, I've begun to see, and that Truth ad campaign that they were doing for anti-tobacco. It was the Truth, and they would show dead people laying on the ground. This is how many died of cancer. Blah blah blah. Well, now they're doing anti-vaping ads and talking about how vapor, everybody's quitting vaping now. Look, it's so cool to quit vaping. Why do you, I get it, you don't want people to have cancer, but vaping is minimal damage. I'm not trying to promote it. I think it's a dumb thing to do. I smoke. I'm an idiot. I can't stop. It's a drug. And it's just, why would they do that? Well, because nicotine's kind of has been proven to, believe it or not, stop you, help you if you from getting COVID, whatever. I don't know that it's a preventative or if it helps you not get it as badly, but something is there with nicotine, and they're trying to stop you from getting nicotine, so you'll get COVID. I don't know what the point of that is.
The point is that there's other ways to take care of this, not just one way. And the fact that the doctors and the healthcare workers, and they're saying that they don't have enough people, they don't have enough nurses in hospitals anymore. Yeah, because the nurses don't want to take this either. And they're getting rid of the nurses. So now there's going to be a shortage of nurses. Meanwhile, the nurses are going to be on OnlyFans making bank.
Well, yeah, when you see that, hospital beds and blah, 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 they're full. They don't have enough people. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, or they don't have enough beds. Yeah, because each bed requires something like 2 to 3 staff to maintain each bed. And they're firing nurses that last year were frontline workers. We're we're going to praise them and bring them free Chick-fil-A every day and all this stuff. And now that they won't take the shot, oh, they're pieces of shit. You're fired.
Right. Don't take the shot now, you piece of shit, or guess what? We're going to fire you. You went through and worked through this whole thing when we didn't have
no vaccine.
We didn't have a vaccine. We didn't have PPE to protect you. A lot of you's got it.
Worked overtime.
Yeah. A lot of you's got it, got over it, and you have the natural immunity, and now they want to give you the shot. And there are some studies that are out there that say if you get the shot, it takes away your natural immunity. Listen, for every study that says one thing, they have a study that says something else. It's a big fucking pile, a cauldron of misinformation and nonsense. I'm sick of it.
Increasing the share of the workforce that is vaccinated in businesses all across America. My plan will extend the vaccination requirements.
Do you really think it's his plan?
No, he doesn't know anything.
Or is it Pfizer's plan?
Here, my plan is not to shit myself before lunch.
My plan is to do what I'm told, so I get pudding afterward.
Right.
That I previously issued in the healthcare field. Already, I've announced we'll be requiring vaccinations of all nursing home workers who treat patients on Medicare and Medicaid because I have that federal authority. Tonight, I'm using that same authority to expand that to cover those who work in hospitals, home health care facilities, or other medical facilities. A total of 17 million healthcare workers. If you're seeking care at a health facility, you should be able to know that the people treating you are vaccinated. Simple, straightforward, period.
Do you care if who's treating you is vaccinated or not?
No. You know why? Because I'm vaccinated. I'm vaccinated.
Right. I'd say naturally vaccinated.
And then here's the other thing. When you go into the doctor's office, I have to wear a mask. I wear a mask. The people that the nurse wears a mask, the doctor has a mask on, the doctor has goggles on.
I've worn masks when I had like bronchitis and shit, and I was just before COVID. I would wear a mask going in there so I didn't get anybody else sick.
And so, yeah, so if they're wearing masks and you go into a situation like that, no, I'm not worried about getting COVID from a healthcare worker, because I was when it first went down and there were no vaccines, I was in the hospital for 5 days with an infection, and they all came in, they washed their hands, they sterilize, they use the whatchamacallit, what's that shit that you spread on, the alcohol shit you spread on, the sanitizer on your hands. They would come in, they would use a sanitizer, they'd come in, check you and all that stuff. They were wearing masks. And they had now the hospitals have those big giant HEPA filters in there. They're replacing the air.
Right.
Recently,
they have the ultraviolet thing too, where the air passes through ultraviolet light, which allegedly kills all the germs.
Exactly. So yeah, and I didn't have to wear it when I was in the hospital. I had to wear a mask in the emergency room. And then once they took me up to the room that I was in, they said, you don't have to wear a mask anymore. I was like, okay.
I'm going to hit play.
And to be honest with you, I was a little nervous. And for like a day or two, I still wore the mask. And then finally I just said, okay, I'll take it off.
Yeah.
But this thing where he's not, these people are doubling down. You can't tell Americans they have to do something. They will fight back. And this, he can do whatever he wants. They're going to try this up.
Isn't that kind of tyranny when that?
Kinda. It's absolutely tyranny.
Exactly.
Listen, I can't wait for 2024. And the reason I can't wait for 2024 is to get this piece of shit out of here.
Shit, I can't wait for 2022.
Right. Well, I understand that, but to get this president out of here. And this is governance. This is what you do when somebody listens and is an American and believes in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the things that built this country to the greatest country that's ever been.
Philosophy is, as governor, my job is to protect your individual freedom. My job is not to protect corporate.
It's Governor DeSantis.
That's not what I'm here for. But this idea that
hang on, why don't let me stop and run that back when Bob talked over him.
Well, announce who the fuck it is, John.
All right.
We have audio listeners and some people who don't know who this is.
You might have been able to wait until after you got done talking instead of talking over them.
Well, how about you let my video get done before you jerk yours up?
Sorry.
Is to protect your individual freedom. My job is not to protect corporate freedom. That is not what I'm here for. But this idea that businesses can just do whatever they want and invade your privacy and doing all that, no, I'm not signing up for that. I'm signing up for protecting your freedom.
All right. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done. Can you pull your video back up again?
So is he going against this? Is that his response to the Biden thing from yesterday?
Yeah, that's his response. Yeah.
Okay,
And
cool.
a lot of the governors in Texas, and they're all going to fight this. All your Republican states are going to fight this. And I'll tell you what, it's the same way when Black Lives Matter were out there rioting in the streets and destroying businesses. Trump wanted to send in the National Guard to put these riots down. And the governor said, no, you can't do that. And you know what? They said to Trump, you know what? The states have the right to say you can't do that.
If you look up opportunity zones, you can learn more about why that was turned down.
And he didn't do it.
This is a little bit older video, but still kind of makes a point.
So here's the thing. We cannot require someone to be vaccinated. That's just not what we can do. It is a matter of privacy to know who is or who isn't.
There we go.
That was Nancy Pelosi, since Bob didn't identify her before he played the audio.
You mean you couldn't tell with her voice over the mouth?
You know what? Because we're Americans. We can't take and make people, we can't mandate they take, and hold on, let me get my teeth back in my mouth. We can't mandate that they take the vaccine. It's their privacy that we have to worry about. But now, guess what? Fuck their privacy, because Joe Biden, he now is going to take charge and make everybody take a shot, even though it's against the Constitution and it's against everything that we put our hand on the Bible and said we would defend. All that shit doesn't matter anymore, because what we're all about is power. And God damn it, we're going to put these vaccines in people's lungs.
This right.
Go
So
fuck
you think-
yourself. That was goddamn good, Nancy Pelosi.
that was not bad. Not bad. You weren't drunk enough, but not bad.
I'm sorry. I'll work on that.
This is captions from last weekend. This is a captures from last weekend, just various clubs, concerts, ball games, just some chanting going on. You think this is how it was last weekend. Wait till this coming weekend.
Fuck Joe Biden was the anthem this weekend.
Fuck Joe Biden! 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 I love it. God bless Texas A&M.
So there you go.
Fuck Joe Biden! Fuck Joe Biden!
I mean,
Fuck Joe Biden!
it was everywhere.
Fuck Joe Biden! Fuck Joe Biden! Fuck Joe Biden! Fuck Joe Biden! Fuck Joe Biden!
So you get the point.
Yeah, it's got quite the ring to it.
It does. They should make that into a song. Oh yeah, that rapper we watched earlier this week.
Right. Hey, you know what? Even our friend Doug from Who's Right, he even jumped on this. He even has something to say. Yeah.
Why is it if your boss says have sex with me or you're fired, it's considered coercion? But if he says take the vaccine or you're fired, it's not considered coercion. Both are trying to stick something in you don't want.
Yeah, I think that's
what.
I wonder what Anthony thinks of that. Interesting.
Stuck something inside you that you don't want. All right. Are we done?
No. No, we're not.
Okay, just checking. Just finding out. This
is in Australia.
Oh, our friends down under?
Yes. Here we go. Saying what they shouldn't say.
Has been put back in place, especially with reopening and people going back to pubs and stuff? Because our exposure sites still, will they be put back in place to be listed once we are reopening? Because they're not at the moment.
We will be looking at what contact tracing looks like in the new world order. And yes, it will be pubs and clubs and other things if we have a positive case there. Our response may be different if we know that people are fully vaccinated.
What the hell? I didn't do that.
That's how what happened. New World Order, huh?
Yeah, the New World Order.
The New World Order. Yes, in the New World Order, you're not going to be allowed to do what you wanted to do.
Well, it's, believe it or not, that sentiment has spread here. And good old US of A. Well, I don't know if you'd call Chicago part of America, but
God
damn,
warn me when you bring her up on the screen. Jesus Christ.
Oh, you perverted old freak.
Oh, my heart.
Perv alert.
Perv alert.
Perv alert.
You know what she should try to do? Get both of her eyes to look straight forward.
This is happy if she would put her eyes on the front of her face.
Mayor Beetlejuice from Chicago.
There we go. This is Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot.
Do it. My thoughts are, because it's not written into law, it's just a very dominant culture. I think the only way you can do it is a couple ways. One, I'm thinking about an executive order from day one that says, in more legalese than this is not a thing. We will no longer honor this, because the way that automatic prerogative works is there's got to be compliance with the executive branch, because otherwise it doesn't work. So you got to eliminate that compliance and you make it a mandate. And then you do training, particularly in the city, I'll call them licensing departments, whether it's zoning, buildings, housing will be impacted by it, planning certainly. And you pick the people to run those agencies and the deputies that are pledging allegiance to the New World Order and good governance. And then I think you have the Inspector General do some spot audits to make sure that there is real compliance.
The New World Order. You carpet munching, Beetlejuice looking.
Hey.
Piece of crap. You know what?
I'm a carpet muncher.
I'm going to say this right now, that I would imagine that more people get shot in the city of Chicago that are dying from COVID right now. I bet you, if you look up those numbers, that more people are getting shot in Chicago.
Yeah, every weekend it's about 100.
Right.
So here's Biden living in fantasy land. This is a short clip.
None of them were shouting or complaining. Every one of them were thanking me as if it was something special. I mean it sincerely, that I was here.
Moments earlier. Despicable. Think of your children.
Hey, my son, Beau Biden, he was a war hero. He was an Oreo cookie.
But he said that, none of them were, yelling at him or anything. They were all glad that he was there.
Yeah. Well, again,
I don't see one person who's glad.
He will leave you behind. You guys protected him. He leave you guys behind. That's great. Yeah. Ronald Wiltrick buried in Arlington, 2011, December 11th.
Them were shouting or complaining.
No, Chuck.
None of them were shouting or complaining.
Right. Well, again, look, when Trump would go to these rallies, there was always a contingent of people that were over there protesting against them, and that's fine. I mean, again, that's what America's all about. They were over there and they were voicing their opinion, so that's fine. I mean, but again, lies. That guy can't open up his mouth without a lie falling out of it, and that is the issue with this guy. God damn you people. Whew. Voted for this guy, and now here we are. I go back to the same thing. Look like jerk-offs. We look like jerk-offs.
Do we?
Yeah, to the world. We look like jerk-offs.
It was time for a chick roll, John.
Yeah, I wish I knew. I would like to sing along.
Go ahead. Showed me the way. Come on.
He wants to stick a jab in your arm. Doesn't give a shit what you say.
Welcome to
the hotel, Joe Biden.
Stick it in your arm.
Face. We will sit on your face. I don't know. There we go. I'm sorry. Joe Biden.
Well, we went 45 minutes longer than we usually do. Anything else you got there, John, besides my dad joke? And we'll get to
I'll tell you, yes, I have one. I have one from our favorite press secretary. Misinformation. No, misinformation. They're always screaming about abortion. My body, my choice, stay out of my body.
I noticed Kamala's coming back around now because of, there's news about women's stuff.
Well, again, they were asking her about my body, my choice. What's the stance?
All right. Thanks, everyone.
What happened to my body, my choice when it comes to vaccinations in the Biden administration? And in 2020, President-elect Biden said he would not demand vaccine mandates.
Run, misinformation, run!
And that was the official White House statement.
Right.
Turn your back and walk away.
That's right. Smile and walk away. Unlike my favorite press secretary of all times, Kayleigh McEnany. I miss this woman so much. She's over on Fox News.
Let's say she's been doing Fox here lately.
Yes.
Go figure on that one.
Here she is. I love this woman.
Guess what, Joe Biden? It wasn't President Trump that set this arbitrary deadline that, as one high-level intelligence officer said to me, became a Taliban red line. That was what you did. It wasn't President Trump that withdrew the military before the civilians. That's what you did. It wasn't President Trump that has given a kill list to the Taliban. That's what you did. It wasn't President Trump that closed Bagram. That is what you did. And the President of the United States putting his head on that podium, that tells you all you need to know. We used to have a commander-in-chief who, as General Kellogg described to me, strategically called the head of the Taliban after killing Soleimani. Strategically, in the second call, said, "You kill American troops." And he described to me very graphic language that I can't repeat because it's classified. But that language, the Taliban understood. There were repercussions under President Trump. There is weakness from President Joe Biden, who doesn't deserve the title.
Absolutely. You preached, Kayleigh.
We've got a dad joke from the comments section. My wife, she says, "I'm afraid of the calendar. Its days are numbered."
Jeez, you guys are perfect for each other.
Not my dad joke, though.
I understand. I know.
Mine is, I learned that I was addicted to brake fluid, but I'm confident that I can stop whenever I want.
As you should be.
Fuck you.
All right. Thank you for letting us ramble on for an hour and 47 minutes. We'll be back here Monday if my heart don't stop.